experience.
Pakistan was friendly with both the U.S. and China. Its president, Yahya Khan, had dinner with President Nixon in October 1970, and with the Chinese premier, Zhou Enlai, a month later. Yahya Khan told Zhou Enlai that Pakistan was willing to be America's secret channel to China. And Khan instructed his foreign secretary to take the lead.
He said that I want to entrust to you something important and very sensitive. And from now on, only you and I will know about it in Pakistan. All messages would be handwritten to reduce the risk of leakage through secretaries. No copies would be kept.
Yahya
Khan told the premier he had a message from President Nixon. He wanted to send an American emissary to China. Nixon wanted America and China to become friends. Premier Zhou said, "I'll consider it and reply later."
Nixon was forced to wait, while Mao prepared the way for change.
During all those meetings that I personally attended, I think repeatedly Mao would say, you people should know that now our major threat is from the Soviet Union. And this is why he wanted to break this ice with the US. Because otherwise, he said that China would face enemies on both fronts.
Mao had another motivation: Taiwan. Traditionally a part of China, the island was ruled by Mao's old enemy, Chiang Kai-shek. Mao wanted Taiwan back. For 20 years, America had defended Chiang Kai-shek's island. Mao thought that a new relationship with Richard Nixon could change that. But there were risks. China's communist ally, North Vietnam, was at war with the US. Hardliners within Mao's government would view a Mao-Nixon meeting as consorting with the enemy, and they might rebel. Mao moved forward indirectly. In April 1971, he sent an invitation to the US ping pong team, then in Japan, to tour China. Mao's offer conveyed the regards of the Chinese people to the American people. The televised tour showed the new, friendly face of China to the world. In the U.S., Vice President Spiro Agnew criticized the trip, calling it a propaganda triumph for the Chinese. Agnew, who had no idea of Nixon's secret plan, was promptly told to keep quiet. After 6 months of waiting, on June 2nd, 1971, Nixon finally received a top-secret message from Beijing.
I brought it to him in the Lincoln sitting room.
Mr. President, he says, this is the most important message that a president has received since World War II and the ending of World War II. Henry read it to me with his voice trembling.
I did tell him that I thought this was a diplomatic revolution.
I went down and I found some old brandy that somebody had given me right after the inauguration. It had never been opened. Courvoisier, one of the better Courvoisiers. There are many, you know.
The message carried Chairman Mao's personal invitation to President Nixon to visit China. But first, an American envoy would be dispatched to Beijing to make the delicate arrangements.
There could be only one person to handle some of these major issues, and where secrecy was involved. I mean, secret negotiations, it had to be Henry.
Kissinger embarked on an elaborate deception plan. On July 1st, he set out on a public tour of Asia. As Kissinger's entourage arrived in Pakistan, President Yahya Khan put the secret plan, codenamed Marco Polo, into action.
Yahya invited us to dinner, and in the course of the dinner, I allegedly fell ill, and he allegedly urged me to go to the mountain station he had for recuperation.
We announced that he was exhausted by this long trip and by the heat, enervating heat of the subcontinent, and needed a couple of days' rest, and would be going to this beautiful hill station, 9,000 feet high, which is called Nathia Gully, about 2 hours' drive from Islamabad.
A Kissinger stand-in headed for the hill station. The world's press, the U.S. Embassy staff, and all the members of Nixon's cabinet were kept in the dark. Mohammed Khan was assigned to drive the real Kissinger to a waiting plane at a military airfield. But he couldn't find his car keys.
Finally, I woke up my son, who had been using the car the evening before, and he had them under his pillow. He fished them out and said, "What's the matter? His mother not well? Are you fetching a doctor or something? What's the crisis?" So I said, he looked at his watch, said, 2:30, good Lord. So I said, "No, we are just going to Nathia Gully for rest for a few days." He woke up wide awake, and they said, "At 2:30 in the morning?" He said, "I'll never understand your generation."
We rolled up to the airplane, one engine of which was already turning over, and the other one was just waiting to be turned on. We dashed up the gangway into the forward entrance to this aircraft, and there were 4 Chinese waiting for us.
When I first saw Kissinger, I wasn't sure who it was. He was wearing a big black hat. He had dark glasses on and a big black raincoat.
We found 4 Chinese in Mao suits sitting there, whom Zhou Enlai had sent to escort me into China, but we didn't know this.
I saw a look of horror on the face of the man who was a security guard for Dr. Kissinger, because when he saw the Chinese sitting in the plane, he nearly had a fit. He thought they were being kidnapped.
So off we went into the darkness. We hadn't been gone altogether too long when Wang Hairong came to me and says, Dr. Kissinger would like to speak to you. She didn't speak English, so she said, So I popped up and went back, and there was Kissinger in splendid isolation. But he said to me, "John, do you have any shirts?"
One of the problems on these high-level trips is little things like, do you have enough shirts along? Well, anyway, I had put, I think, 2 or 3 shirts aside, put them in a separate bag, carefully.
And in the morning at 4 a.m., Kissinger, like any normal human being, doesn't remember. And so he went there with no shirt except the one that was on his back.
I said, "Henry, you're going to negotiate with these tough Chinese, and before you even sit down and talk with them, you've lost your shirt." And then Kissinger was going absolutely crazy.
The 2 governments had agreed that Henry Kissinger's presence be kept secret. If the mission failed to produce a diplomatic breakthrough, no one would know. But the Chinese insisted on preserving the visit on film.